was October 26th in the year 1881. The Earp brothers faced off against the Clanton-McLaury gang in a legendary shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. After silver was discovered nearby in 1877, Tombstone quickly grew into one of the richest mining towns in the Southwest. Wyatt Earp, a former Kansas police officer working as a bank security guard, and his brothers Morgan and Virgil, the town marshal, represented law and order in Tombstone, though they also had reputations as being power-hungry and ruthless. The Clantons and McLaurys were cowboys who lived on a ranch outside of town and sidelined as cattle rustlers, thieves, and murderers. In October of 1881, the struggle between these two groups for control of Tombstone and Cochise County ended in a blaze of gunfire at the OK Corral. On the morning of October 25th, Ike Clanton and Tom McLaury came into Tombstone for supplies. Over the next 24 hours, the two men had several violent run-ins with the Earps and their friend Doc Holliday. Around 1:30 p.m. on October 26th, Ike's brother Billy rode into town to join them, along with Frank McLaury and Billy Claiborne. The first person they met in the local saloon was Doc Holliday, who was delighted to inform them that their brothers had both been pistol whipped by the Earps. Frank and Billy immediately left the saloon, vowing revenge. Around 3 p.m., the Earps and Holliday spotted the 5 members of the Clanton-McLaury gang in a vacant lot behind the OK Corral at the end of Fremont Street. The famous gunfight that ensued lasted for all of 30 seconds, and around 30 shots were fired. Though it's still debated who fired the first shot, most reports say that the shootout began when Virgil Earp pulled out his revolver and shot Billy Clanton point blank in the chest, while Doc Holliday fired a shotgun blast at Tom McLaury's chest. Though Wyatt Earp wounded Frank McLaury with a shot in the stomach, Frank managed to get off a few shots before collapsing, as did Billy Clanton. When the dust cleared, Billy Clanton and the McLaury brothers had all continued their eternity. Virgil and Morgan Earp, along with Doc Holliday, were all wounded. Ike Clanton and Billy Claiborne had to run for the hills. Sheriff John Bean of Cochise County, who witnessed the shootout, charged the Earps and Holliday with murder. A month later, however, a Tombstone judge found the men not guilty, ruling that they were fully justified in committing these homicides. The famous shootout has been immortalized in many movies, including Frontier Marshal in 1939, Gunfight at the OK Corral in 1957, and Tombstone in 1993. On October 26 in 1984, at Loma Linda University Medical Center in Loma Linda, California, Dr. Leonard L. Bailey performs the first baboon-to-human heart transplant, replacing a 14-day-old infant girl's defective heart with the healthy, walnut-sized heart of a young baboon. The infant, known as Baby Faye, was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a deformity that is almost fatal and is found in newborns in which parts or all of the left side of the heart is missing. A few days after Baby Faye's birth, Loma Linda heart surgeon Dr. Bailey convinced Baby Faye's mother to allow him to try the experimental baboon heart transplant. 3 other humans had received animal heart transplants, the last in 1977, but none survived longer than 3.5 days. Bailey argued that an infant with an underdeveloped immune system would be less likely to reject alien tissue than an adult. Baby Faye survived the operation, and her subsequent struggle for life received international attention. After living longer than any other human recipient of an animal heart, Baby Faye's body made a concerted effort to reject the alien transplant. Doctors were forced to increase dosages of an immunosuppressive drug, leading to kidney failure. Ultimately, doctors were defeated by the swift onset of heart failure. And on November 15th, Baby Faye continued her eternity after holding on to Earth life for 20 days. It was October 26th in the year 1985 that the awesome Whitney Houston earned her first #1 hit with the single, Saving All My Love for You. Whitney Houston, the daughter of soul singer Cissy Houston and niece of pop star Dionne Warwick, paralleled her vocal gifts and the professional nurturing of her well-connected family into superstardom of a kind rarely matched before or since. A near unknown prior to the release of her debut album, Whitney Houston, she shot to stardom when her first chart-topping hit, Saving All My Love for You, hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Written by the team of Michael Masser and Jerry Golphin, who had teamed up previously on Diana Ross's 1975 #1 hit, Theme from Mahogany, Do You Know Where You're Going To? The ballad Saving All My Love for You was the second single from Whitney Houston, following You Give Good Love, which peaked at #3 on the pop charts in July of 1985. Released as a single in August of 1985, Saving All My Love eventually earned Whitney Houston a 1986 Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. When the next two singles from her debut album, How Will I Know and Greatest Love of All, also topped the pop charts in early 1986, 23-year-old Whitney Houston established herself as one of the biggest names in popular music. Over the course of the next decade, Whitney Houston would sell tens of millions of albums and earn 8 more number one hits, a figure eclipsed only by Mariah Carey among solo recording female artists. But only one of Whitney Houston's albums, 1992's soundtrack to The Bodyguard, featuring the monumentally successful cover of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You, would match her 25 million selling debut in terms of commercial impact. Nearly 2 years in the making under the personal guidance of Arista Records chief Clive Davis, Whitney Houston ranks among the 40 biggest sellers of all times, according to the Recording Industry Association of America. It also served to launch the career of a singer who became popular enough to earn a top 20 pop hit with the Star Spangled Banner, not once, but twice in 1991 during the Persian Gulf War, and again 10 years later in the aftermath of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. On February 11th in 2012, the night before the annual Grammy Awards ceremony, the 48-year-old Whitney Houston was found unconscious in her room at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. It was later discovered that Miss Houston had left us here on Earth and drifted off into the eternity. Historic information divulged and documented on this audio file that can be verified on history.com.